back from an amazing trip on Oahu where we stayed at the Hilton Hawaiian Village Resort in Waikiki.
We stayed at this resort for 5 nights, and in this video we're going to give you a full breakdown of all the money that we spent on this trip.
Every single cent. You're going to know exactly what we spent money on and how embarrassed we are by those purchases. Good afternoon, happy travelers. In 5 days in Hawaii, we spent $889.07.
We're going to break this down into different categories, and without further ado, let's just get right into it.
Now, the first thing you'll probably look at when you're booking a trip to Hawaii are flights. This category for us is a little bit misleading. If you're new to this channel, I work for a major US airline, so I get free or heavily discounted flights. So we're just gonna not include that as part of our budget, just because it's not realistic for someone who's not in the airline industry.
The second category that we're going to talk about is hotel. If you've been following us for a while, you know we really love our Hilton properties and we use a lot of credit card points for booking our stays at the nicer resorts. This trip was no exception.
We found a really great deal with credit card points. If you book 4 rewards nights, you get the 5th night free. Each of the 4 nights was 70,000 points for a total of 280,000 Hilton Honors points.
So we actually didn't spend any money out of pocket on the hotel at all. There was a $45 resort fee per night that was supposed to be charged to us, but for some reason they never charged that.
I suspect it's because I reached out to the marketing team before our trip to see if we could collaborate in any way. I said we were gonna post either way, which I probably shouldn't have done.
Keep that in mind that you aren't normally able to pay for the resort fee with credit card points.
Also, I would not recommend bringing a car to the Hilton Hawaiian Resort because parking there was over $50 per night, which could really add up. But they did have a car rental agency on properties. So if you wanted to rent for a little bit of time while you're there, we talk a lot about the amenities in the resort in our resort tour if you want to go check that video out.
We also ended up renting a Turo for 1 day, so that's a good option if you didn't want to rent from a rental car agency.
It was quite a bit cheaper.
Oh yeah. If you're interested in the Hilton credit card that we use to gain all these points, we will link it below in the description.
Since we are Hilton Diamond members, one of the great perks of that is that we get free breakfast. In the US right now, what Hilton is doing is instead of an actual free breakfast, they're giving a certain amount of daily credit. At the Hilton Hawaiian Resort, we received $18 per person per day.
And you can use that at any food and beverage outlet on the entire resort. It doesn't just have to be for breakfast, which is why we used it mostly for Mai Tais by the pool.
The credit card we mentioned earlier will get you gold status, which gets you that breakfast benefit. So you should probably apply for it with our link, just saying.
Now let's get into food and drink. This was what we spent the most money on our entire trip, and we did it pretty budget.
Even though we made a conscious effort to eat at budget places during this trip, we still ended up spending $635.75 on food and beverages.
$156 of that was spent at the Hilton.
So that doesn't include the $36 a day that we have because of our diamond status. That was above and beyond that credit. So actually what they charged to our credit card.
And like we said, most of it was Mai Tais by the pool. And we have no shame about that.
We tried to make it a little bit more of a vacation this time, which we don't normally do, and it was nice.
If you don't want to spend $18 a drink on a Mai Tai by the pool, you can always go to ABC stores, which are located all throughout Waikiki, and get alcohol for a lot cheaper there. The rest of the food charges came to just about $480. We didn't really go out to many expensive dinners. That was trying to eat budget. We ordered in a few times. Like we said, eating out in Waikiki can be pretty expensive.
So for 2 people for 5 days, just over $600 isn't really all that bad. If you want to check out some of the cheap places that we ate in Waikiki and the immediate surrounding area, check out our Waikiki Cheap Eats video, which we'll link here.
Say that 5 times fast.
Waikiki
Waikiki
Cheap
Eats.
Waikiki Cheap Eats.
Cheap Eats Waikiki.
Cheap
Chuck E. Cheese. The next category we're going to get into is transportation. For transportation on this trip, we spent $148.63. This is going to include a few different Lyfts and Ubers that we took, and the Turo that we rented.
We had a lot of bags with us, so we just opted to take an Uber from the airport to Waikiki. Otherwise, there's a bus, I believe, that goes directly to Waikiki from the airport that's just a couple of dollars.
But those ride shares cost just under $23 each way.
All the other times we've been to Hawaii, we've rented a car because that's an awesome way to see the islands. We figured we would just get a car for one of the days and save the money. As I said, parking was pretty expensive at the resort. So the cheapest option ended up being a Turo. If you're not familiar with Turo, it's kind of like Airbnb for cars.
It ended up being significantly cheaper. Not quite half as cheap, but close to it.
And it was a brand new car. It was really nice. Ended up costing us $95.54 for one day, which still is a little pricey.
But with renting a car and parking it in Waikiki, it would have been way more than that.
Yeah.
We didn't drive very far with the Turo. Mainly we just wanted to go to a really popular snorkeling spot. So we ended up only spending $7.20 on gas.
Our last category is, let's just call it entertainment or excursions. Things that we did while we were on Oahu, other than drink Mai Tais. Which I guess you could call entertainment. We spent $104.69.
A big portion of that was our trip to Hanauma Bay. Hanauma Bay is a really popular snorkel destination. You need to make advanced reservations and the spots fill up really quick. There's a $25 fee per person for non-Hawaiian residents. All in all, with taxes and fees, that ended up costing $51.18 for the both of us.
That may seem a little steep for a snorkeling destination, but this bay became incredibly over-touristed and started to affect the marine life. So they do the reservation system and they charge that much to limit how many people go in and affect the marine life.
And there weren't really many people there, which was really nice. I think the reservation system is working. Little did we know you could actually rent snorkel gear there.
But we decided to find a local snorkel shop called Snorkel Bob's to rent our snorkeling gear from.
For the two of us, we ended up spending $33.51.
But like we said, you can rent your snorkel gear at Hanauma Bay. And then Kevin went surfing for a day.
It was a $20 rental for the full day. I don't remember the shop off the top of my head, but it was right across from the Hilton Hawaiian Village, and we'll link it in the description.
It wasn't at the resort because that was a lot more expensive.
You're gonna pay 3 times as much for a full day rental right on Waikiki, so I walked a block away and was able to get one for $20 for the whole day, and the boards were a lot nicer too. So that brings our grand total to $889.07, which really isn't too bad for 2 people for 5 days in Waikiki. Could we have done it cheaper? Probably. Could we have spent a lot more? Absolutely.
That's pretty good considering that includes 5 nights of accommodation. Hawaii can definitely be expensive. I find since Oahu has the most amount of choices, you can do things a lot cheaper there if you don't want to spend a lot.
And you probably are if you're watching this video, so. Well, thanks so much for watching. Let us know in the comments if you have any questions or if there's any way that we can help you plan your trip, and be sure to go back and check out all of our vlogs that we created at the Hilton Hawaiian Village. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button. That really helps to support us, and we definitely appreciate it.
This is Kelly and Kevin from the Awkward Tourists. Peace out. Oh, it's far away. We just got back from an amazing trip in... Oh my gosh. Hilton really should be paying us for how much we talk about them in our videos. We're sitting in a Hilton right now talking about this.
$635.72. Even though we highlight...
Our last category?
Corridors. What now?
But we decided to find a local snorkel shop and... Local snorkel shop. This is very entertaining for me. To rent our snorkels.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, it's far away.
Nailed it. Yes.